So we was talking about the witness of men. Man established this image as the Son of God. And that is true. He's up there, he's up in many churches and established in many books and the historical document of books. See, the actual acts of the history of the Israelites is true, but the images has now been changed. Okay? So this is caused by men. Read.
If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater.
So we're in the court formula, and we're going to bring forth, and you got to bring forth your proof. We're going to see if the word of God, if you can bring forth and witness, is this the true image that God wrote by words, and you can paint it as an artist picture. Okay, you can make it like an artist picture, and we're going to see if the words of God is to that image. Read.
For this is the witness of God, which he had testified of his Son.
So we're talking about Jesus Christ. Is this Jesus Christ? Read.
He that believeth on the Son of God have the witness in himself.
A lot of people believe in God. They believe in the Son of God. But then the image is up there wrong. And then it's becoming more and more acceptable. Then therefore they believe in a lie. Because truth does matter. Read.
He that believeth not God hath made him a liar.
Because the Lord set up and sent his Son among us, and he had to have a color. We said that. If he had a body, he had to have a color. If he had hair, he had to have a certain color and texture. And he indicates that in his words. Read.
He that believeth not God hath made him a liar.
So we're going to prove today that this image is a lie. It's as simple as that. This is not the image that's even in the records that God left us. Read.
Because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son.
I got a little ahead of myself because the Lord speaks of himself. He said he recorded. He's a witness to himself. He don't need none of us, but what we're doing is clarifying what he said, that the image of his own Son. He set it up. So in his Bible is the records of what God had our forefathers written records. And these written records can be sometimes brought out like an artist painting. So we're going to read the words of God called in the King James Bible, and it's going to bring out words, and we're going to use these words like an artist brush. So let's go back to Revelations again, the first chapter, and we're going to read the 14th and 15th verse. And here's an image that we want to compare it to. And this image here was a picture that was set up or was going among us, and it's copyrighted up here in the corner. You can't really see it, but it's copyrighted in 1905. And this is a known image. And I have the other image that has been changed to look white, the so-called white. But here it is. It's got scriptures down here. It's Torah, and it's got scriptures such as when Solomon, 1:6, showing that Solomon was black. And it's got other scriptures down here to indicate. But we're going to read out, again, Revelations to see which image is, by words of God, the closest image to the words of God. Read.
Revelation, the first chapter and the 14th verse. His head and his hairs were white, like wool.
Now, in this image, you don't have them white, woolly. They have it woolly, but they don't have it white. And we showed you earlier over here. And matter of fact, we have here, we showed you here, the picture here, the little, where's the little picture?
The little book.
The little book. Did we lose that so far?
Yeah.
We got to excuse us for a second. We'll find everything. Here it is. Okay. Because we're using this setup. And here you see an Israelite in captivity or slavery, and his hairs on his head is white in color, or gray, fully gray, or white, which we know you see out there today. I've seen many of our elders this texture and hair color. Okay, but in this picture it's not that way, but it's woolly. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white, like wool.
Here we have what? A lamb, sheep-lamb combination. You see this the holding in his hands, indicating also is because Christ is known as being the Lamb of God, but it's also showing you the texture of the lamb. The texture of the lamb is likened unto the texture of his hair. Okay, so the Bible is indicating or bringing forth as a witness, or in the records, is bringing forth the texture of the hair comparable to the texture of the body of, and here's many other lambs too. And you have it in the, some of our forefathers and mothers, even today, fathers and mothers have been in farms or subject to that. Sometimes you take the kids from the schools and they go to farms on a field trip. So when you do that, you need to immediately take them over to lambs and get a piece of wool and see if it don't matches the hair of a so-called Negro today. And you'll find out, you may be surprised that it does. Right. So the word of God is true. Read that again.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So here we see the image again, and here we're showing it's woolly, but it's not fully gray. Here, fully gray white. Okay? And it's showing that it is of our people. A lot of our people, especially when they get in the elder age. Read.
As white as snow.
Snow meaning fully gray, white looking. Read.
And his feet. Now we're talking about feet now.
So like I said, the color and texture of the feet is, if you look at your feet, as the same color as your arms, on your neck to your face, your whole body. So he's got fully clothed man. It's not like in the days of the Greeks where they get undressed where you can see the whole body. It's ridiculous how they put these images out. It's supposed to be David, and David is the father of Solomon. Yet when they build a statue up of David, he's totally naked, and in all aspect, and it's not even the right indicating of the color. And the color or the image is wrong, and then it's total nakedness. So you see the full body of that statue. They have that out there in some museum. I don't know where it is today, but it's called the Statue of David. It's made by marble, and it's supposed to have been made by, I think, Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo. I think it's Michelangelo that set that up. Right. But that's not true. See, so a lot of images are set up that's off. Okay, so we want to say that if it's an untrue image and it's set in history as being true, then that's off. So yes, we're offending you by coming with the truth, because if you're going to accept the lie, there's a problem. Then you won't really accept the words of God. You accept what man has set up, and the Lord said then you're trying to make him out like as a liar. But the Lord is really saying that you the liar. And I don't want to be subject to no lie. I'm not here. We're not here to waste your time. We're here to show our people, and we're here to show the world the truth. And the truth can benefit all mankind. But this lie is not going to benefit any mankind. Okay, it's a deception. This is what the deceiver has done, and it does matter. So we're going to go ahead and read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So he's so dark that it's not even a comparison. Other Bibles try to take that burnt word out, and some of it try to manipulate it to burnish and manipulate other words before and after of it. But the King James, you don't need to change it. That's what the problem is. You don't need to change what the original King James Version Bible. Not a word of it need to be changed. What you need to do is change your spirit, to accept the word of God. Right. Now we at court today, and if you had to bring the true King James, these other Bibles wouldn't even be accepted at all, because they are, like I say, they are what? Misinterpretations. This is a true translation from the Hebrew text. Okay, so that's what they did. King James supported and allowed the priest to come in and bring the translation into an English documentation of proof of the words of God. And we have that today, and it matches the Hebrew text documentation. We're going to go real quick to Daniel, the 10th chapter, and the 5th verse. Read that.
Daniel's the 10th chapter and the 5th verse. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded, with fine gold of Uphaz.
So we don't have the indicator showing that he had a girdle of gold on, okay, but he had clothes, a garment, showing it was linen, made of linen, okay. Read.
His body also was like the bird,
Meaning the garment he had on was a green color, bird meaning green in color, read.
and his face as the appearance of lightning.
So much wisdom and glory was shining from the Christ that he had the appearance of that wisdom and lightning. We can show you later in that's also indicated in the Bible in Ecclesiastes. Okay, you want to get that? To prove that? Because people may not understand. He had so much wisdom. Okay? And that's what we're trying to be, like Christ, to be like God. Christ is our example. We're trying to be like Christ, and any other man to follow. Is not even worthy of it. This the man, Christ risen. This man is buried. This man is a son called Caesar Borgias. Okay? His name is Caesar Borgias. Okay? And he's the son of Pope Alexander, the sixth of Rome. And he established his son and forced the artists to draw his sons. And all these pictures indicated, that's shown today, of the so-called white man is Caesar Borgias.
Right. Can I say this? Sir?
Yes.
This picture right here of Caesar Borgia was painted in 1492 by Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. That's when this picture came into existence.
And I said force painted because they was commissioned and forced to do so.
Right.
Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci knew the color Christ,
Right.
but they was forced to establish these images.
Right.
Okay, read.
Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter and the 1st verse. Who is a wise man? And who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine.
So Christ had much glory in his shine. Okay, so that's what you see. Okay, that it? Read.
And the boldness of his face shall be changed.
And that's what it did. So when you saw Christ's face, and like you saw a lot of prophets that's known in the Bible, you would see that if even the angelic force would come down, they would have a glow, a shine to it. And they had that in a lot of icons where they would make a halo. In the icon, in the Bibles, in a lot of icon books. Hold on just one second, I get one. Show you here. Before they would whitewash them. There we go. You can see that. You can see just above their heads, there's a circular, and they were all of color. You can see it there. They're all of color. You can see the picture here, right there, okay, of his mother holding the child, Christ. And this is all in these icons. This is here called Russian icon. You see this? Russian, see? The art treasure of Russia. Okay. You got that? All right. And before they whitewash and strip them, there it is, showing you that these they all they put them in the records on the walls. And you can see the halo around her, the shyness of her, and you can see it also around this image of Christ. Very small, but you can see it. Okay, sitting in her lap. So if you can't, we can you can request information such as this, or you can go search it in your local library. Although they have a lot of Renaissance pictures, and a Renaissance picture I want to show you is now you have the same measurement, but at a different time this was brought forth. So it's got to be one or the other. But these are what these amateur artists at the time, and now they found a lot of paintings. And they really was amateur and recopies of the true images that represent a historical fact. In other words, the image, okay, is misrepresented, but the fact, the true fact, it actually happened. When you see pictures and they show you on TV today of Moses in the movies, represented by, what's his name? Charles and Heston. The event actually went down, but the people that's representing that of that event is not true. So they're taking on, and you don't know your history. If you know your history, you can be proud that the name and the thing to be is a Hebrew Israelite. There's nothing wrong being hated as a Hebrew Israelite by the world. Here's another icon that came later, and they dates here. They're in the later period, and they're called the Renaissance art. Renaissance meaning rebirth. And what they was doing was erasing the true images and replacing them with their nationality. That's called hate. Here's a picture here in the beginning, and you can see, can you see there? Just want to show you right here. You got that, hold that. The face has been painted, the face been painted over. Okay, you can see the skin, you can see her hands. Okay, and then you see her other hand. Where's it? I'll show you here. Where's the other hand? Red. Not on this, I got another one. But you can see her face and his hand. See that hand there? That's his hands, and his face has been painted over. But the body is still dark. They didn't get to it all. And her face is another image has been painted over the darkness of her face to a light texture or color. So it does matter. Don't even fit. You can see it's peeling off because there's two different types of paint. If you have any science understanding, the knowledge of science, two different compounds, and in erosion, this compound is separating from the original compound. And now it's proof that it's been changed. Documentation right there. Okay? So there's a lot of Russian icons in the lands throughout Europe.
Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter and the 1st verse.
These are the orders from God to who? Read.
Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation, not desired.
The nation is not desired is the true biblical Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speak of. And they're lost following the customs of the heathens and of the world. And their orders from God is to gather together, because nobody wants you. Nobody wants a so-called today a Negro around. And that's the truth of the matter. That's all. We're not offending you. That's the truth. They don't want us in the neighborhood. If they had plenty of time to correct and make this thing right, it ain't going to never be right. And don't be tricked by it. Okay? And it never will get right. Because if they're not going to recognize us as our nationality and our true nation, to be going around here as blacks, who's the nation of black at? You use French, Niger. You know what I'm saying? You use Spanish, Negrito. I'm from the nation of Negrito. Using Latin, Niger. I'm the nation of Niger. You come over here and it's slang to Negro. From Spain over here to the Hispanic islands, we're now Negroes. And in the southern case, he was slang. He didn't have much education also with what we call niggers. All it means is black. I want to show you that. We're going to give you that, show you that. That in the Bible is that way. Go to Acts 13:1. Okay, we're going to show you. Read Acts 13:1.
Acts, the 13th chapter and the 1st verse.
Because as we teach, we've been mocked this way back in time past. I want you to put one more, that one over there where it says Pasadena. On top of that, then we're going to move that real quick. So we're going to be putting them on there and moving them. That one there, yeah. We've been mocked the same way of our forefathers been mocked. The same way the apostles been mocked. Anybody that bring forth the truth was considered what you're going to read in the Bible. Read.
Acts, the 13th chapter, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
That was called Niger. See, we're prophesizing just like our forefathers. On the corners is in the street, and in Latin, Niger is nothing but the word meaning black. So what it's saying on the corners is the blacks. In Spanish, nigger, Negro, or Negrito. In French, Niger. Okay, so we're nothing but the blacks, right? But it's indicated in the Bible, and we're going to show you that that's the complaint, and we're drawing a lot of fire because we're trying to tell our people, forewarn them, and we get a lot of complaints with us interfering with their businesses because, hey, right now, Christmas involved. If you don't go and serve Christmas, Easter, and Halloween, it might not be no stores left. If you was to come right and do what the Most High says and do His will, then they ain't gonna have a little problem because everything is based on to take all the money out of your pockets on this vain, wasted, useful thing. So take this off. Okay. So We're going to read it again and show you from the dictionary. We're going to get the Bible, get the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Here, there you go. We have the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. And we're going to get here. This is a Zondervan. It's the compact in words, but we have the full one. It says Zondervan right there. And also the Young Dictionary. So we're going to read Ham, because a lot of people think that they're Hamitic. They're following the spirit also Hamitic. They go to these festivals and be bringing home all this garbage. And these are the Nimrodian spirit that was brought up back then to bring these into your homes and give them credence or worship. These are idols that was vain. And our people think these are art. This is art pieces of wasting your time. Your children look at this and it's naked. This is against the law to bring anything like that and set it up. Okay? So we want to go ahead and read there from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and we're going to read the description or the definition of Ham. Can you read that?
Yes. Ham.
About 96 years before the flood. The Ham was the second youngest, so that is true that he was
One of the youngest. Because Japheth was the eldest, and Shem was the youngest. But Ham was the middle son, so he was younger than Japheth. So we'll go ahead with go ahead.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
Because it was Noah and his 3 sons and their wives. Noah's wives and their 3 sons' wives, which would make 8 persons. 8 people that went and lived through the flood. Read.
He became the progenitor.
Meaning the father of, read.
The dark races.
So they want to say that Ham, meaning, that's why they attached the lands of Africa as the father of the so-called dark races. See, read.
Not the Negro.
But they want to tell you that he's not the father of the Negroes. That's very clear. They want to say that Ham's sons were all dark, but they're not the father of the Negroes. So either you got to be Japhetic, Hamitic, or Shemitic. So they're showing you that the Negro is not Hamitic. Even though we was brought over from the continent of Africa into America, they don't continue to tell you how we got into the continent of Africa to be brought over here. That is indicated in the scriptures. Okay? But they're showing you that Ham is we're not not Hamitic. Read that again.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
See, and they don't give you the biblical names, but the Egyptians is Mizraim, Ethiopians is Cush, and Libyans is Pud, and they have the Canaanites as the children of Canaan, but they don't put down the biblical names and mix it up. So you have to understand scriptures that tell you to go to Genesis, the 10th chapter. But I'm going to read out of the Young Compact Bible Dictionary, also Ham, and I'm going to read it from here. It also states a son of Noah and father of Cush, which is correct. And Cush fathered Nimrod. Just want to show you that. So Ham would be Nimrod's grandfather. Egypt, so he said the son of Noah and father of Cush, Egypt, Pud, and Canaan. So Cush became Ethiopian. Nimrod is Ethiopian today. So you're following the Ethiopian custom. Then it says, see further, each of these 4. While, meaning research it out of the Bible or define more into more definitions from the encyclopedias or whatever. While they may have all been dark skinned, telling you what color the skin, they were not the forefathers, and here over says progenitor, forefathers of the Negroid race, meaning nation. Because Negroes, you're going to find out it pertains to the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speak of. That is the Negro race that they scholars, they wrote this. I didn't know, they understood. They write this. They're going to write the truth, but they don't expect us to put it together.
Right.
Remember, we're supposed to be dumbfounded and still enacting, but the Spirit of the Most High is put on us. I want to show you that real quick. Go to Revelations 11:11. The Spirit of the Most High has been raising up the truth, and now it's coming out, and now it's even being rejected by our own people. But by their definitions, the so-called Negro nation, even race, meaning that it's telling you, okay, it had nothing to do with Ham. So we're giving credence to Ham, and what it is, Ham is using us. The children of Ham is coming over all out through America and in our neighborhoods and getting a grip and using America through us. But they're not today. They don't claim us. In the spirit, they don't claim us. They hate us too. Read.
Revelations, the 11th chapter and the 11th verse.
Read.
After 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
So now great fear is falling because why? The Lord, after the punishment, after 350 years of the punishment of captivity and slavery that was promised that we had to go through, give me Deuteronomy 28:48. After we had to go through this period of time of punishment, now they fear that we coming back to that understanding. And they're going to have a little problem now because if you're going to keep on and thinking Santa Claus is the value and that is what the Lord has said is vain, these Christmas trees are going to do you some good. You're telling you putting the Lord, God, and Christ to shame. And if you're going to keep investing in that, then I don't know. I love my sons and my daughters. And I can't see when something come in is wrong. I see why it come in wrong because we ain't right. You're supposed to have hedges about you. And if you right, Lord say he got your back. Christ got our backs. But if we out here forming as a heathen, I don't know. I can't trust that. And
dishonor the Most High.
because the heathen causes mean breaking all the laws. Read.
Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 48th verse. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
When you see the word all, that's kind of infinite, meaning at this point in time, we don't have control over anything really. They own all the big stores. They own all the water. They control the water companies. We have to buy water. To drink clean water today. Much water is made. We have to go buy it. They control anything the garment we wear. They manufacture and get taxes off of it and have something to do with making it. You know, food. All the food they're controlling. Now they took the negatified the food. They said the grapes. The Lord didn't know what He was doing, so they took the seed out of grapes, seed out of watermelon, seed out of oranges. And they didn't manufacture. How you gonna replant and grow more if it's no seed in it? That's the reasoning they have. The dead oranges don't do anything. It rejects you. It rejects you. It made me itch. I can't even eat the stuff. So we're gonna go on to the next, and we're gonna continue from here to show you that this here is prophesied that we, when you read and research the words of God, that we the only people that's gonna fit the prophecies of this Bible. And we're going to clarify some of these prophecies and show you there's nobody else on this earth, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, that can fit the prophecy of this Bible. Thank you.
And